Hey, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. One of the things I want to chat about tonight is a question I've been asking myself for probably about 6 or 7 months. And so, I'll tell you a little bit of a story first, but I've been a law of attraction, natural law, I guess, student for a long, long time. And so one of the things that I realized I wanted to understand, and I got really excited because I watched this movie called What the Bleep Do We Know back in like 2003 or 2004, and it was life changing for me. I've been studying metaphysics and psychic phenomenon and healing and all that other energetic healing and all that mediumship and all that kind of stuff, and nothing shifted in my life. I've been studying that since about 1997. So here we are, 5, 6, 7 years later, and something major shifted in me. And so then, probably a couple of years later, all hell broke loose on my life. Everything just kind of fell apart. Um, and and honestly, I'm grateful for it falling apart because I was not living a life that was actually conducive to what makes me happy. And so then the movie The Secret came out. And I know a lot of spiritual people will put down The Secret, but there's a couple of important things that's said in it is it says you have to do the work, and that's natural law. And so natural law is basically what the law of attraction is cause and effect. And so what we put out there comes back. But what I realized, and I've been asking this question, and I asked it to a friend of mine probably about 6, 7 months ago. I said, everything in my life is just happening. My life is just seems to be falling into place, and I had a good life. I mean, I was pretty happy, relatively happy, all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. I wasn't traveling as much as I want. And some people would say, wait a second, you go on like 4 or 5 trips a year. And so, but something just wasn't feeling right. And so the story that it comes in August. And I had contracted COVID. And I was working as a consultant for Citibank. And I'd just come back about 2 or 3 weeks prior from North Carolina, spoke at a healers gathering up there, and had an incredible time. Everybody knows I love to travel. And so then I was sick in bed with COVID for 3 weeks. And if you've had COVID, the fatigue is just something, it's brutal. So I laid in bed and I decided, you know what, I'm going to make the most of this time and I am going to work on myself. And so I did. I sat there and did exactly what I would teach everybody else as I got inside of myself. I faced all the demons coming up, any fears that I had. I didn't have a whole lot of fear around COVID, but there was some. I'm not going to lie that there wasn't. So I started peeling back the layers of that and started looking at my life. And like I said, relatively good life, but there was still something missing. And so then everything's just started to fall into place. I got COVID. I started pushing myself to do more things and started realizing this is not what I want, and started just putting things into action. I wanted to live by myself. I wanted to have a home, and I've been looking at this particular apartment for about a year. And so, I've always wanted to live on water. I've always done best when I live on a river or a lake or anything like that. And so I started to set things in motion. And within 3 weeks, I got a new job, making substantially more money, moving into the place I wanted to live. And so I literally got the floor plan. I was number 11 on the waiting list. And so that led me to ask the question. That's just putting it shortly because I don't want to waste too much time telling the whole story. But it led me to this question. What is the difference between me now and 15, 16 years ago when I started on this journey? I guess it's even getting close. Wow, 2003, 2004, it's getting close to 18, 19 years. So I had already set in motion to go back to college and finish the last year of my bachelor's degree. I had decided to go on to the master's degree, something I had planned in like 2002 and didn't finish. And some people argue and say, why do you need that? You already have all this experience. And the truth is, the only reason why I need it is so I can go and I can finalize things that are from the past and, let that energy go so that doesn't hold me back. But the answer to the question is, what's the difference between me now and me, years ago, is I was very much at pain inside of myself. I was still a relatively nice person, but I would, let things trigger me very easily. And there's a reason why they call Pisces pissy Pisces. There's a reason for it. And so I just get moody. And so that energy comes off, even if you're not saying it outwardly. And more importantly, it energetically, it creates more experiences of causing you to be moody and trigger you. So what I realized is that the universe responds to who you are, not what you want. And so we can put out that we desire something and the universe will prepare us for it, but it's not going to be instantaneous. When it lines up instantaneously, it's because of that's who you are. You've done that work to get there. So the answer to that question is the value. I value myself. And I wasn't valuing myself 18, 19, 20 years ago. And so some would say that's growing up. And what I would say to that is I have like 50, 60-year-old clients that come to me and they still don't value themselves. Maybe they value themselves tremendously more than they did when they were 20 years old. But this is something that comes up. So what ends up happening is that it's not about money. However, money does help you pay for your bills. It is an energy exchange. It's not about abundance of things, but it is about living life comfortably. And it's not about, and there's a spiritual part of saying that I don't have to live in poverty in order to be able to enjoy life. There is a misconception and an idea in the world that says in order to be spiritual, you have to live poor. And that's just simply not true. That's a lie that's been told to us. However, being spiritual and greedy, that is called cross-purposing. So greed comes from when we feel like we're lacking something, or that we have to hoard something because we're afraid that we don't have enough, or we're going to lose it, or we have to have more in order to make us, feel better, or make us feel secure, or have power over other people. Whatever the story is that's playing out in us, that's something that causes greed. But it cross purposes with the idea of abundance. Because if you already know you're abundant, if you already know that you have a value for yourself, if you already know that you're taken care of and you have a knowing, and not just a faith, but a knowing that things are always going to fall into place, and you take action based on that, then the universe is going to start responding to you and giving you the things. It's going to be a lot easier. The opportunity is going to start coming and you're going to start acting on them. But what ends up happening is that we have opportunities, and this is interesting because I just had this with somebody I was working with the other day. Things are starting to work in a good direction, and they couldn't see it because all they got caught up in was their ego about something that was said to them, and they felt like they weren't being valued. And so the important thing here to understand is that if you know your own value, when somebody disrespects you, they can't really disrespect you because you already know who you are. And so, but what ends up happening is somebody says something disrespectful or that hurts our feelings, and it sets us off on whatever trigger that we need or that we have. And the opportunity there is to look at it. And why do we look at it? So here's the thing. And I used to say one finger pointing out in judgment, three pointing back at you. The problem with that is that if somebody's in such judgment of themselves, they feel like when you say that the other person that's causing them, that's triggering them, is the person at fault. And the truth is nobody's at fault. There is an opportunity for us to look within to know we have enough. And we all have triggers. I have triggers. I have new ones that come up every day. It's the game of diving into them. So the difference is between now and 15, 16 years ago is something that a guest of mine has said many times on my show. His name is Dr. Amit Goswami, and he was on What the Bleep Do We Know? He said the piece we have missing is accountability. We don't take accountability for our own lives and the decisions that we make. So what we look at is we look at all these things going on. So this last 2 years, you could have been really stressing over COVID, struggling getting a job, struggling having income coming in, or you've been really sick, or you've lost somebody, all that kind of stuff. Those are circumstances on a three-dimensional physical level. And so with that being said, yes, of course, in this level, it seems like everything is happening to you. But as you start making choices for yourself, that's authentic for you, for your own purpose, your own divine purpose, as you start making those decisions, as you start acting on what is deep within you, as opposed to what other people have told you to do. In other words, we're told what we should do for a career. We should play it safe and get the best paying job. We're told all these things. And then they say, find something that you're passionate in and do that. But then there's all this energy towards, don't be silly, find something that is responsible. And then we're told how to look, we're told how to dress, we're told how to be, what it looks like to be professional, what it looks like to be spiritual. And we try to fit into these boxes or these molds. The truth is, inside of you is a voice that's saying, or a feeling, or a knowing that's saying, hey, be this way. This is what makes me happy. This is what's always made me happy. And it may upset some people. It may upset them into the point, and this is not like upsetting like you're intentionally trying to trigger people. You're just living your life. And so I've gone through that realm of doing things too, where I'm like, well, I was just speaking my truth. And so, but it can be done in a way where it's polite, I guess is the way to put it. Because what ends up happening is we don't want to be harmful to another person's journey. We don't want to judge another person either, because we want to stick to our own house and our own way of doing things. So anyways, so the answer to the question, what's the difference between me now and 15, 16 years ago, is value. I know my own value. And so, and if I know my own value, well, then when I put things out there, I know that it's either going to come to me or it's going to be something better. And I know that if it's something I need to be prepared for, the universe is going to start preparing me for it and give me all the lessons along the way. And so those are the things where we want instant gratification, and things happen like that. I mean, it happened 3 weeks, I moved into this place. And so there's just a lot of things that are, and now I'm looking at potentially buying a place. And so these are things that we have to start looking at. And as you guys start looking at the things you want, you say that or better, and make it easy. Make it, I'm tired. I don't need all the lessons anymore. Unless it's something that needs to prepare your mind and energy to be there, to understand that, because frequency is what we attract. Remember, I said we attract what we are. So if we want happiness and success, we have to be happy. We're going to have to resonate with other happy people. We have to find people that resonate in the same level that we do. And so when we do that, then we start to find a true center for ourselves and truly find a blessing in our life. I want to just throw it here. I'm going to probably do this on my live feeds here, but I want to tell you I'm doing a retreat in Belize, October 3rd through the 7th, with my friend Donna Campbell. The Los Angeles Tribune is one of our sponsors for this. It is called the Heart Alchemy Retreats. And so you go to heartalchemyretreats.com, and I will pull that up here on the banner, heartalchemyretreats.com, and definitely check that out. I'm also going to be partnering for future cruises. I'll be having more of that information here soon, but lots of great things coming up. And I am also here, if you would like to check out my website, I am here for private appointments. If anybody is interested, you can go to the storytellingalchemist.com or jeremymcdonald.net. It's the storytellingalchemist.com or jeremymcdonald.net. It goes to the same website. So much love, everybody. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day